Hello, everybody. It is May the 24th, 2020, the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend here in the United States of America. And when it's Sunday at 5 o'clock and it doesn't matter, it is Wrestleview Weekly Times. Hello, everybody. I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live, alongside the effervescent editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, Mike Tedesco, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views immediately following them here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel that you are watching or listening to right now, whether it be live or on demand or in some other way, shape, or form on the SoundCloud, on the iTunes, however you listen to a podcast. Well, it originated on the YouTubes, on the Wrestleview YouTube page. If you have not subscribed to the Wrestleview YouTube channel, I am not going to judge you. I'm not going to condemn you. Nor will I insult you, because it is Memorial Day weekend, and now is not the time for anger. It is a 3-day weekend for most people, and so we're supposed to be positive and enjoy life right now. We're going to try. But if you haven't subscribed to the Wrestleview YouTube channel, please do so. It would be really, really cool. It's not just my show that's on here. Mike Tedesco and his beautiful wife, Victoria, they do the Monday Night Raw recaps immediately following Monday Night Raw right here on the YouTube channel. Mike Tedesco and the valiant, what's the word that I gave Jerome Willen? Our intrepid reporter, Jerome Willen, go over all of the headlines of the past week of professional wrestling on Wrestleview News, which is on every Saturday here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. Juan calling me beautiful. Well, Juan, you're beautiful too. You know that. But the biggest reason that you should be subscribing is so you can be in the chat room right now during Wrestleview Weekly, so that you can hear me say this and you can reply to me by doing thus. If you are in the chat room now, you say, wee! If you're not in the chat room, there's not a damn thing I can do about that. Who is in the chat room today? There's the effervescent one. Mike Tedesco is in the chat room. Who else is in there? I see Michoon. I saw, but Juan said we, so I'll say we as well. We! He's sipping on an IPA. Oh, I'll go and let you in on my sources here in a little bit. I see Daniel. I see Chad. I saw Lewis. In there. Jamel. OG Jamel in the chat room. Wee! Who else? I call him the OG because I think he was one of my very first viewers and listeners back when the show was on Twitch. And we are still... we are 2.25 years strong on this show, and he's been my OG. So yes, Jamel. There's Lewis. Wee! Yes. Okay. Everyone else will be filtering in. So yeah, get that out of the way. On the show today, going over the NXT and the SmackDown. Okay. There's the other Lewis, the sexy hunk of man meat Lewis Varaldi. Wee! There we go. Let me see. Going over NXT and SmackDown. What else are we doing? There's so much sad news. This has been a horrible week for professional wrestling fans by so many levels. So there's a lot of really sad, tragic news to go over for the week's headlines. Some changes to the WWE milk carton, not many. I think we're still a little less than 40 deep on the WWE milk carton. Don't know what that is. You're going to find out in a little bit. And finally, Lewis bringing it up there. Whoever thought we would see AEW on the green screen from me? So, the past week, I watched AEW Dynamite, the go-home show going into last night's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I watched the 1-hour show on TNT on Friday night, building up Double or Nothing. And then Saturday, last night, I watched the pre-show on TNT leading into AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view that was last night. I soaked in nearly 7 hours of AEW last week. And this is the first time that I've really extensively watched AEW, I want to say in well over 4 months. I haven't watched them nearly at all this year, okay? Solely because, quite frankly, I was a little embarrassed by some of the matches and the gifs that I've been seeing of. It's actually ever since the gifs of the guy punching the ground instead of Dustin Rhodes. That's why I tapped out of AEW. I just couldn't do it. But I felt, you know what? After stumbling upon that one episode of AEW where they're just having a street fight around the stadium and Sammy Guevara is being chased by Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in a golf cart, I'm in. I'm sold. I will watch it. I will take it in. I'll give them a second chance. We have got to talk about AEW, especially last night's pay-per-view. If you haven't watched it, that's okay, all right? We're going to talk about it. At least I am. If you watched it in the chat room, you can jump right into discussions with me. But I'm going to tell you right now, AEW Double or Nothing last night, we needed it as professional wrestling fans. After the week that we've had, after the month that's been going on, next guy in the chat room going, wee! After all the horrible crap that's been happening ever since spiking Nerf ball of death has descended upon us, ever since we've been trapped in our homes and we can't do anything, ever since empty arena shows, and again, the tragedy that's been happening this past week in professional wrestling. This show, AEW Double or Nothing, we needed it. And we're going to definitely talk about it. And I'm only talking about, I'm not even mentioning the other 3 letters of the other company, because that is my job, my big job today, is to try to talk about AEW when we get to the AEW segment and not mention the other company. It is something AEW just can't do. They were never able to do. So I'm going to do it. Okay? But I got to tell you right now, I had a blast. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. Furthermore, okay, sources. The sources of the show. We have the best sources on Wrestleview because our news is straight legit. We don't do rumors. We don't do gossip. We confirm and doubly confirm. And so our sources are the best. And my sources today are from Divine Barrel Brewing. That's out of Charlotte, North Carolina, right there on North Davidson Street. We are drinking Zestinations. Yeah, you can see through the can there, but it's Zestinations. This is a Berliner Weiss style ale with orange, grapefruit, lemon, and lime. ABV on this is a very light 5.5. We are not going into the double digits. Berliner Weiss is a German pale ale that is brewed and fermented with lactose to give it this nice little creamy hue that you see. This is in the Stein of Redemption. And so, yes, Mex guy, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Do it. Berliner Weiss. Lactose, I don't want to say it's not thick, but it's definitely not watered down. So, yeah, Zestinations. Tart. Good tart. Good tart with the grapefruit and lemon. All right. The reason we went light on the sources today is because I owe something. Yeah, there's a little something that I owe. Oh, by the way, we still have an extra one in the hopper, just in case. So, I owe some things. You might recall there was a Money in the Bank pay-per-view by the WWE a few weeks ago. And I was, in my own fury over my technology and not knowing how to use it, I decided to lock the entire pay-per-view. Doug, what are you talking about locking the pay-per-views? What are you talking about? Well, every podcast predicts pay-per-views. Okay? Every podcast will try to predict a pay-per-view, predict the matches, and yada, 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 yada. But their feet are never held to the fire. And so I do that because I have integrity. I believe that I should be held accountable for my horrible decisions and choices in life. Many will attest to that. And so, in my own fury of not understanding my technology, and the card went from 5 matches to 8 matches the night of the pay-per-view, I said, damn it, locking the entire pay-per-view. Every match I am locking. I went 4-4. But what does that mean you locked it, Doug? That doesn't mean, what do you mean you locked it? Well, if I make a prediction, I lock it, and I get it wrong, I take a shot of the Luna Azul Blanco tequila. We went 4-4, which means I had to take 4 shots of tequila. Took 2 last week, and so we're going to take 2 tonight, and that should keep us, that'll even us out. Put us in the clear. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this over with. Always open it next to the mic. There we go. Oh, God. Oh, that smell. This is old tequila, too. We got to get rid of this stuff. I may try to make a margarita out of it over the weekend or something, because I got a fresh bottle right here. I got a full bottle right here that will crack open if I need to. I don't want to, but we will. Okay. Stay tuned. I got big news about next week's show. Big news about next week's show, and it involves predictions. So you just hold your horses. I may go ahead and just tell you guys the news right now. After I do my punishment till I take my medicine. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. Keep the alcohol poisoning gimmick going. Yeah, this isn't... Call it what you will, okay? This is a gimmick. You can call it that, but I've been doing it for a long time. If you're listeners of Wrestleview Radio, Adam Hunter and myself, yeah, this is a gimmick that's been going on for a while. Okay. I'm going to procrastinate for a reason. Jamel's bringing it up. You know what? Let's just get this over with. Let's get the horrible stuff over with. Okay? Because I got big news, and it involves predictions in next week's show. So, here we go. Shot is up in the Cleveland Indians shot glass that I got on my 40th birthday in Cleveland. Okay. All right. Apparently comments from your PC don't go through. Oh, Nafis, come on. You got to make it I don't know why. That ain't my fault. But you said we. Okay. Here we go. You guys know the drill. You know the motto. Jamel knows it. You all should too. Here we go. Here's to me not knowing shit about professional wrestling. Oh, God, it hit hard. Oh, I thought I could be a big boy. Oh, God. I tried my hardest. I thought I could do it this time. But no, I just can't. Oh, God. Ugh. All right, we're cleared up. All right, the balance is 0. No more open balance on failed lock picks. Okay, the news for next week. So, next week is going to be the prediction show for NXT TakeOver in Your House, which is taking place on June the 7th? Yes, on June the 7th. So, what's happening? Well, next week, I'm going to make predictions on the show. But I'm not going to be making them. There's a certain someone on the Wrestleview staff who wanted to talk about predicting, and says that well, the last time this person was on and predicted these shows, though they were very incorrect picks, I did not do as badly as I did at Money in the Bank. And so I feel that, you know what, someone else needs to do it this time, since I did so horribly. And so I figure a special guest on the show next week. I have left my fate in her hands before, and I'll be doing it again. Victoria Tedesco will be the special guest on this show next week. 5 o'clock. No change in time. Oh boy. First off, I don't know if she watches NXT. This is an NXT pay-per-view. So, Queen Victoria will be a special guest on Wrestleview Weekly next week to predict NXT in your house, NXT TakeOver in your house, where I've got a feeling it's going to be the same as Money in the Bank. Every match will be locked. It might be. I have not decided. But if I can't do it so well, she can do better than me. She might, I don't know. It depends on how many matches are on the card. And usually NXT TakeOver pay-per-views only have 5 matches. Well, we got to make it exciting. Can't do 2. Nah. All of them may be locked. But we'll see. We'll see. I need to think about that. It's a lot of responsibility. It's as if she doesn't have enough responsibility as it is. Daniel asking if she gets the predictions wrong, does she drink? No. Mike and Victoria, from what I understand, don't drink. And that's fine. That's great. I commend them. And I don't even think Jerome does either. I think I'm the only one on staff with a microphone and a camera that does the punishing to himself. I'm the masochist. What can I say? But I'm also, I think, I'm the only one that really does. Back in the day, yeah, Adam, Hunter, and Tom, yeah, we all did. So I am the last of my kind on Wrestleview.com. And that's okay. That's okay. All right. God, I got a luscious head of hair. See, I got a haircut the Tuesday before the stay-at-home orders went on in North Carolina. And look at these luscious locks. It's so hairy. I am so hairy. And when it gets hot in here, my hair gets a lot of body, and I just look so goddamn sexy. Okay. Okay. Jamel saying takeovers usually have a smaller card. Yeah, they do. They usually have 5 matches. That's all I've ever seen out of NXT TakeOver pay-per-views, like 5 matches. That's all they ever have. So I am not going to do just 2 of 5. Nah. Get a mullet like Eddie Guerrero? No! God, I hate this. I hate all this hair behind me. I really, really hate it. I got no problem with the stuff on top. It's just this back here is bugging the hell out of me. It makes me feel horrible. I can't stand it. Hair I used to have when I was in high school. I used to have the whole long hair, ponytail, undercut look. Grunge, man. Class of 97. Yeah. Figuring I could do it again. I'm pretty sure it could. I'm pretty sure by the time September rolls around, I could get a good ponytail going on with this stuff. You know, listen to some Pearl Jam or Green Day and hate my parents because they don't acknowledge me enough, even though they provided a roof over my head. Say that school sucks, even though I had a decent love life and my grades were A/B honor roll. You know, I don't know. Probably can't do it. All right. Let's get on with the show. Okay? I do have flannel shirts, Jamel. I got some flannel shirts. There are some shirts in my closet that have not changed since I graduated high school. They still fit. All right, let's do this. Let's go over the really bland television that's being given to us by the WWE right now. Oh, fly to the top here because I had to do a little bit of copy editing. Look at that. There's a Charlotte Flair on a WWE program. 3 times a week. Sounds great. Starting off the show in memory of Shad Gaspard, we will talk about why we're doing an in memoriam of Shad Gaspard. Again, sad stuff. Karrion Kross starts off the program, does a little squash match against this Liam Gray guy who is willing to accept in this picture. Immediately following this nice little squash match, Tomato Chomper would come out and no, I'm not going to. Yeah, Tomato Chomper would come out. And so we're going to have Tomato Chomper versus Karrion Kross at NXT in your NXT TakeOver in your house. I'm going to say this again right now about Karrion Kross. All right? It's only been 2 squash matches. We can't say a whole lot about how his ring work is or anything like that. But I am not that big of a fan of his entrance. Oh my God, Doug, why'd you say that? I know, that's a real hot take, isn't it? I'm not a really big fan of his entrance. And that's what this is all about, is his entrance. Scarlett Boudreaux, lip syncing some of the lyrics and being incredibly demonstrative and slinky and ladylike and using a lot of, well, not jazz hands, but being very slinky like. Karrion Kross being all grrr. I don't know. It just seems Karrion Kross's entrance seems like something that theater students would cook up in their first year in college. That's what that's what it seems to me. You know, it's like they're trying too hard to me. They're trying too hard to make him look menacing. And I wonder, with the entrance that Karrion Kross has, if it's a good thing that he doesn't have an audience. Because if he had a live audience, it just would not fly. I just don't think it would. So, that's just me. Hot take, not a fan of Karrion Kross's entrance. And I can't really have an opinion of him match-wise because he's only had 2 squash matches. 2 squashes in the span of 10 weeks. 10 to 12 weeks to where we've only had vignettes, monologues, and squash matches. That's it. Interim Little Critter Championship Tournament matches El Hijo del Fantasma versus Akira Tozawa. Whoever wins this will advance in their group. Oh, Doug, why is that? No, math kids. Akira Tozawa just gonna... No, that's no we. He did stuff off the apron with the little Hurricane Rana thingy off the apron. Yeah. There's El Hijo doing frog splash along the same plane. He leaps off the stainless steel steps onto Tozawa, who's prone across the ring apron, and does a little mini frog splash. I don't call that a tadpole splash. Yeah. Lewis asking me, I don't think people would be singing along with Karrion Kross's theme song. No. Jamel is saying I do have to put a we on my soundboard, but no, I don't see any notion to right now. Your winner of this contest would be El Hijo del Fantasma. He will move on in Group A. Well, why is that, Doug? He has the same record as Akira Tozawa. They're both 2-1. That would be a draw. No, because Phantasma beat Tozawa. So in the tiebreaker, Phantasma is up on Tozawa. That's how round robins work. I saw this all over Twitter Wednesday night when this happened. And they announced that Phantasma was moving on. And everyone's, oh, why is that? There's a draw. They have the same record. Why is it? You would think with jokers that love tournaments so much, they would know what a goddamn tournament is. You could tell a lot of these fuckers that love the tournaments don't watch sports at all. I hate tournaments. I've always hated tournaments. Next guy saying Karrion Kross is more of a striker and does train in MMA, but now that he's in charge he's in WWE, it might change. I don't know. Okay, I would love to sometime do a watch along on the Twitch of some of Kross's matches from Impact. I've heard he was great in Impact. So I don't know any of his matches. I've never seen any of his stuff. So I think we might do a Karrion Kross marathon. Killer Kross. We'll do a Killer Kross marathon sometime on the Twitch. Just so that I can be educated on the things. Imperium showing off their titles. Timothy Thatcher is challenging Matt Riddle to a match where you can only win by knockout or tap out. Riddle just names the place, and there you go. Shotzi Blackheart is in a tank and is crushing things and talking crap about Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. So there you go. Mia Yim versus Santana Garrett. Oh boy. I can't believe Santana Garrett still performs on television. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Squash match, Mia Yim would win this. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae would come out on stage, and Gargano would give us a face. I kind of like that. I kind of like the Gargano face. Kind of like Cornette face almost, but... I nailed that, didn't I? Did I nail that? He doesn't really have a cocked eyebrow, does he? He's like, Trying. Fellow Clevelander. Jamel saying he's a meme now. Yep, he sure is. I will never cover Impact on here, kids. Right now. Okay? I will never cover TNA. They're always TNA to me. Always TNA. Don't need to go by why. We aren't going to. Mia Yim has to try to fend off Candice LeRae and the Johnny Gargano. But then later on, Keith Lee comes out. Related to Mia Yim somehow. Some way. I'm sure they'll fill us in on why. I don't know. I'm sure they'll tell us why Keith Lee came out to support Mia Yim. I don't know if it's romantically involved or anything, but that would be really good to talk about. Michonne Walls, here comes Doug's favorite wrestler. Yeah. Keith Lee, no, I like some. I do enjoy Keith Lee. It's just been really tough with these no crowd shows for Keith Lee. It's been tough. It's been really, really tough. But yeah, Keith Lee and Mia Yim are going to be squaring off against Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae on next week's show. Mex Guy has informed me that they are a couple. Mia Yim and Keith Lee. I did not know that. Maybe that's something that the WWE would like to explain to us. Maybe that's something that they should confirm. Somehow. Some way. other than if you're on the Twitter and you happenstance to stumble upon their accounts and find it out. I don't know. It's just me. If I was writing a television show and this happened, I would have this inside my show after it happened to explain it. It was not. Cameron Grimes is standing in the country somewhere talking about how it's grime time and he caved in Finn Balor. I wish I had a picture of where Cameron Grimes was for this monologue. There were fields of wheat, it looked like. Fields of wheat or corn or something like that. Kit Dyson in the chat room goes, wee! There were fields of corn or something behind him. Maybe a barn in the distance. It was very flat land. Okay. So this is what a guy in a top hat just wearing his tights out and farming. That's what he does. Okay. Sure. Okay. We needed that environment to confirm that he's from the country, that he's from the backwoods. It's grime time. Yeah. Oh, God. All right, if that's what we got to do. At least it's better than, I mean, I can definitely think of some other performers that we've had to where they have obnoxiously confirmed stereotypes of where they could be from or their nationality or their ethnicity or even their gender for that matter. Look up Lord Tensai and you'll know what I'm talking about. Drake Maverick is backstage. He's going to be facing Kishida in the Little Critter Interim Tournament later on tonight. Roderick Strong versus Dexter Loomis. Roderick Strong doing that kind of a thing to Dexter Loomis. I am more of a fan of Dexter Loomis than I am Karrion Kross. I am more of a fan of Dexter Loomis than I am of Karrion Kross. Loomis only had 2 weeks of buildup of promos before he made his debut. Karrion Kross had nearly a month and a half. Michael Ryan in the chat room goes, wee! Dexter Loomis does not have any pyro, no smoke. He doesn't have a valet. He just has the music and walks out to the ring. That's it. But Dexter Loomis's music and entrance match him and fit with him way better than Karrion Kross's and Scarlett's. It fits way better. I am digging the Dexter Loomis character more than I am Karrion Kross. Could it be because Dexter Loomis has had more matches than Karrion Kross? Well, maybe. Maybe. But my point, and Andrew brings it up in the chat room, sometimes simpler is better. Sometimes you don't need to over-accessorize. Sometimes you just go and do it. You know, don't overthink things, you know? I love the Loomis entrance, the character, everything. It totally fits with him being expressionless. He has a great look. He's got a fantastic look. In the ring, it's very simple. Simple stuff. The only fault that they made was in his debut match that they let the other guy have offense on him. You don't do that when you're debuting. So, but in time, it's progressed, and I think Dexter Loomis is built way better than Karrion Kross is. And though Karrion Kross is going to be in a match at NXT TakeOver in your house, and we don't know if Dexter Loomis is. I don't know. Michael Ryan saying he's just fucking entertainingly creepy. Yes, exactly. Entertainingly creepy. Yes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. He's got a look. He's got a great look. He looks like, damn it, I wish CJ was in here. He reminds me of Street Fighter 3 First Strike, the boxer dude from UK. He looks so much like him with the mustache, the hair, and everything. Looks just like him. That's the kind of what I see here. Roderick Strong, we get the pinfall on Dexter Loomis, but even though he's celebrating, Loomis wants to give him a hug. So he attacks him afterwards. Adam Cole and Bobby Fish come on down to try to save Roderick Strong, and then we get Velveteen Dream comes in to make the save, and then we get the most heavily edited portion of WWE programming ever. Oh, Dudley. Nafis telling me Dudley. Yes, Dudley was his name. Thank you. It's been so long since I've played Street Fighter Alpha 3 First Strike. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is... We are going in for a crossbody. No, we're doing an elbow. We are feet towards the right, but no, they're in the left. This is Mystery Science Theater worthy. Okay? This is fucking stupid. Look, I totally get it if you have to edit, okay? I totally get it. All right? Totally understand. Okay? Totally get it. I understand why we have to do the editing and everything. But if you're going to do it so the guy is facing the right goddamn direction. And he does the right goddamn thing on the guy on the ground. This was fucking pathetic. It is a complete 180 from what we experienced this week and last night in particular with AEW. There's going to be a recurring theme on today's show. The recurring theme today is one of these companies, WWE, WWE, or AEW, one of these companies knows how to use the resources they've been given. One of these two companies knows how to use what they have. Period. End of discussion. That's it. That's what I'm leading up to later on with AEW. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch against Everrise. What? Huh? Oni Lorcan and Danny. Hold on. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus, I don't care who they're against. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Off the milk carton. We haven't seen Oni Lorcan since he took a powder to Aleister Black in a slugfest on Monday Night Raw a few months ago. Danny Burch, we haven't seen him since he teamed up with Oni Lorcan to face off against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet on Monday Night Raw. That was almost 3-4 months ago. Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch off the milk carton and squashing two guys to make themselves look good. Yeah, they're doing things. Oni Lorcan Oni Lorcan is so entertaining. I can't help that. Io Shirai is getting ready backstage for a match of some kind. Matt Riddle says he wants to meet Timothy Thatcher in a steel cage. So we're getting a steel cage match next week on NXT. Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a special guest referee inside that thing who did not get his contract re-signed and was released by the WWE Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. If there's any one consolation that I will give this episode of NXT, it's this match right here. Kishida versus Drake Maverick in the Little Critter interim title tournament thingy. This Drake Maverick is telling a fantastic story about the underdog. Telling a fantastic story here. The matches, though, I am not a fan of his finisher, of doing like a weird little bulldog thingy from the top rope. Not a fan, but I'm a humongous fan of him yelling throughout the entire match in pain. Drake Maverick is a great babyface in peril. Does a fantastic job at it. Here's Kishida turning over Drake Maverick. But your winner. The underdog story continues. Drake Maverick would roll up Kishida after Kishida got the hoverboard lock on him to get the pin. So now we are going to have on next week's episode of NXT a triple threat Little Critter match to determine the other finalists to go against El Hijo del Fantasma. It will be some guy named Jake Atlas, Kishida, and Drake Maverick. Oh, but Doug, why are they having a triple threat? Well, they all have the same record, but AJ Fantasmo and Tazara have the same record, and they're not facing each other. Why are they? This is horseshit, Doug. This isn't a real tournament. Why they can't just pick and choose what matches they're gonna do because of the records? This is horseshit. Jake Atlas, Drake Maverick, and Kishida have each got one match on each other. Drake beat Kishida. Kishida beat Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas beat Drake Maverick. They all have one match on each other. That's why they're having a triple threat. Wrestling fans should be obligated to watch sports. So they understand this shit. And they don't go on the Twitter and start pounding on a keyboard. They don't know what the hell a tournament is. But they love the tournaments. They love making index cards and figuring out little brackets and shit. Pardon me. Your main event in the night would be Io Shirai versus Rhea Whipley. They did stuff. Charlotte Flair would come in and lay them both out. Io Shirai won by disqualification. We're getting a triple threat match for the NXT title at NXT TakeOver in Your House involving these three. I fucking called it. What did everyone think of NXT? 81% gave it a thumbs up. I don't know why. That editing still sticks with me. That editing, that freaking editing still sticks with me. Really, God, this irritates me. It really does. I make the case every time we sit here and we talk professional wrestling and everything, and I always try to say, if ever a time professional wrestling makes you angry, now is the time to stop. Professional wrestling is not making me angry. What's making me angry is the production and the organization, and it has nothing to do with wrestling. I'm not angry with wrestling. I'm angry with production and post-production and editing and direction. That's what I'm angry with. I'm not angry at all with wrestling. I would be so close. I would have turned the show off after seeing that, but I can't. I can't do it. Oh well. All right. That's NXT. Let's try to fly through SmackDown, even though let's go ahead and be honest, though. Of the 3 WWE shows on network on television, SmackDown is the best one. Not really much to go with here on the SmackDown, but I'm just going to kind of fly through things. But we have to be honest with each other. SmackDown is the best television show the WWE has. And it's not because it's on Fox. It's because it's 2 hours long. Simple storylines, easy to digest. Yeah. That's what it is. Miz and Morrison do a funny haha segment with Braun Strowman. They show some sock puppets that were turned down by Bray Wyatt that he used to replace Braun Strowman. We get leading into this. First off, Braun Strowman scaring Miz and Morrison. This would lead into a match between The Miz and Braun Strowman, which, God, if you should not... Braun Strowman and The Miz had a match nearly 2-3 years ago on an episode of Monday Night Raw following a 5-on-2 match of some kind where the Miz turned on Braun and they tossed him into the trash compactor, and it led into Miz versus Braun Strowman on Raw, and he had Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas with him. God, I was reminiscing. That was fun. Braun Strowman defeats The Miz. John Morrison gets on the microphone, challenges Braun Strowman to a Universal title match, a handicapped Universal title match. Braun Strowman egregiously replies, "You want me, you got me." So, Backlash. We've got a handicapped Universal title match between Miz Morrison versus Braun Strowman. Totally for it. And it's an Intercontinental Championship qualifier match. Breaking news breaking out through all the entire interwebs, including our own show. Oh, there's a thunderstorm going on out there. Breaking news across the interwebs on Friday night for SmackDown. Oh, AJ Styles has been traded to SmackDown. AJ Styles is traded to SmackDown. Breaking news. Woo, woo. The brackets for the Intercontinental Championship tournament were released the Friday prior. And the bracket for AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura was on it. AJ Styles was the only Raw performer in the bracket. So, look, I play Sudoku. I know the concept of process of elimination. But if I were to see in a bracket of 8 performers on SmackDown television that there's going to be a tournament and one of them was from Raw, I would have had that headline typed up 8 days ago. It's just me. It's just me. What am I? Just a guy with his sources. I watch TV too. AJ Styles would defeat Shinsuke Nakamura in this match, and there shouldn't have been any doubt. NXT champ versus champ match. Bayley versus, oh, who'da thunk it, Charlotte Flair. Bayley would tell Sasha Banks before the match to stay backstage. She's got to do this on her own because people are talking. Bayley would get the win after she would put her hands up on the rope and using the ropes to put pressure down to get the pin, and here she is smiling and having fun. Charlotte Flair understands what happened. So yeah, they go with that. Mixed tag team match: Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler versus Mandy Rose and Otis. This is the reason you should be watching SmackDown. This is the reason you should be watching, okay? Sonya Deville coming up on her own, delivering some great promos and doing great in the ring. Dolph Ziggler doing the smart thing, not saying a damn thing, and just being the augmentative talent. Otis, this is the Otis show now. SmackDown is the Otis show now. Just be dumb with a briefcase, and Mandy Rose just looked pretty. Everything worked. Everything worked beautifully. Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville would get the win in this match, and adding insult to injury, this is going to keep going for a while. Okay? I don't know where exactly this is going to lead, but I'm digging it. I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but I think the discussions came up like 9 months or 12 months ago on the interwebs and the Twitterscapes and everything about intergender wrestling. Intergender wrestling was the thing that, Impact started doing, and it kind of got attention, but now has looked like passe. It's looked like a gimmick. It's looked like something you just do just to get ratings. If there was a time that the WWE thought about doing intergender wrestling, it's right here. I will absolutely watch Otis versus Sonya Deville. There's no reason why they can't pull that off. But I don't think they would ever do it. Dolph Ziggler versus Mandy Rose? Nah, not so much. Not so much. This feud right here and this program right here would be the best time to do intergender wrestling, but the WWE will not do it. And that's okay. It's understandable why they would not do it. Completely understandable. You think Fox is going to go along with that? Oh, hell no. No. No way. They don't want to risk that. But if there was ever a time, it would be right now. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Forgotten Sons are backstage. They said things. They're really important. And they have a thing now. They have a salute. Okay. I don't know. They got a thing. Lewis telling me Marco Stunt versus Riho would be awesome. Oh my God. What would the collective weight of that match be? Like 170 pounds? I weigh more than both of them combined. I think a lot of other people weigh more than both of them combined. I don't know. Finally, Intercontinental Championship tournament thingy match. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Jeff Hardy would get the win over Sheamus. That drunk. SmackDown, 83% gave SmackDown a thumbs up. That is par for the course. SmackDown always gets a positive review because nobody watches SmackDown. Wow, I've got a big storm going on out there. We didn't have any clouds in the sky before the show started. Oof. I will be right back. I have got to go check something real quick to make sure that something's been done. But in the meantime, admire this logo real quick. Love you. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're all good. We're all good. I had to check outside because I left my cigarettes out there. Yeah. Left my cigarettes out there and it is pouring down hard. So, yeah. Sorry about that. On to the news. Start with tragedy throughout the entire world of professional wrestling. I mean world, I'm talking globally. I'm not just talking America. Yesterday, Saturday, news came round of the death of Hana Kimura from the Stardom promotion in Japan. Passed away at the age of 22 years old. The cause of her death had not been revealed, but Kimura posted graphic images on the social media hours before her death showing self-mutilation to her arms. She also wrote what could be described as a suicide note, where it read, quote, "Nearly 100 opinions every day. I couldn't deny that I was hurt. I'm dead. Thank you for giving me a mother. It was a life I wanted to be loved. Thank you to everyone who supported me. I love it. I'm weak. I'm sorry. I don't want to be alive anymore. It was a life I wanted to be loved. Thank you, everyone. I love you. Bye." Recently, Kimura had been the target of cyberbullying from around the world, appearing on a reality show called Terrace House. She got upset with one of the housemates who ruined her wrestling gear in the laundry during that show. She hit the housemate, yelled at him, and since that incident on a reality TV show, she was the target online of cyberbullies that led to this depression. According to F4W Online, Kimura was one of 2 stars the owners of Stardom in Japan were planning on building the company around. At 22 years old, absolutely. She was the only child of retired wrestler Kyoko Kimura. Kimura had been wrestling since the age of 18. Started young. Ever since this story broke Saturday morning, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere flooded with condolences, anti-bullying, anti-cyberbullying. And Andrew brings it up. You throw depression on top of that. So young. And I have opinions, and I'm because she was suffering from depression, I don't think it's warranted that I give my opinion about those that commit suicide and those who think about it. You know, it's horrible. And I think now's not the time to really do it. But it amazes me how in this age to where we have this device that allows us to communicate to the world instantaneously. The world's at our fingertips. Any information that we would ever need to know, any question that we have can be answered. We want to communicate to the world our opinions, let people know how we feel, that it would be used to try to make yourself feel better by tearing down someone else. I'm not going to throw in any other caveat. I am not going to talk gender. I'm not going to talk age. I'm not going to talk nationality. I'm not going to talk about anything else. Okay? Because this needs to be as ambiguous as possible. There have got to be other ways in life to make yourself feel better about yourself than denigrating and putting down others. How about building yourself up? There's got to be a reason that you're wanting to insult other people online because you don't like what's happening with you. Right? That's why we do that, right? That's why we used to watch horrible talk shows in the mid-90s, because we saw people having really shitty lives. It made us feel better about ourselves. Thankfully, we couldn't get on the internet and tell those people face to face, avatar to avatar. But now, through this device, we have that power to get as close as we ever could to someone else, to let them know spontaneously how we feel, with no care about how they may feel in the process. Because all you know about them is an avatar. All you know about them is the character that you see on TV. I mean, that's all you know. You don't know that could be a person, a human being. It has feelings like you, of regret, doubt, of pity, depression, of anxiety. This won't cure cyberbullying. This won't. This absolutely will not. Never will. So I'm sad for family. I'm sad for fans. I can't really speak. I've never seen her perform, but damn it, I'm not even thinking of it as a performer, as a wrestler. I'm speaking of this just as a human being, where you go online, you want to tear down another human being to make yourself feel better. Now that other human being is gone. Good job. You did it. You have now gotten your ultimate high. You have gotten your ultimate high. You are now definitely better than the other person that you just torn down because you're still alive. The wrestling industry would react to the passing of Hana Kimura. From Paige, this breaks my heart. The internet can be a cruel, disgusting place. R.I.P. to this beautiful young woman. Natty and Natalia Neidhart, just heard this news and I'm truly saddened by it. Heartbreaking. Let me see. Jessica Havoc. I am completely sick to my stomach about the news of Hana. This cyberbullying needs to stop. She had a bright future. Lance Storm. We as people need to be and do better. Rachel Ellering. All people. Be nice, be better. This is heartbreaking. No, I'm thinking of a different one. Apologies. Joey Ryan, I couldn't imagine dealing with hate on social media at 22. I can barely handle it now. Some of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Dash Wilder, or Cash Wheeler, or whatever he's known as now this week. Damn it. Heartbreaking. Shotzi Blackheart, I didn't even know you and I am crying. Spread love, not hate. Words are powerful. From New Japan's Twitter handle. New Japan Pro Wrestling is deeply saddened to hear the loss of Hana Kimura. She was a wonderful and gentle soul. Our most heartfelt and deepest condolences. Ring of Honor, we are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Hana Kimura. Hana was a beautiful and talented star. Words are powerful. Please be kind. All Elite Wrestling would also pay tribute to Hana Kimura on their Twitter feed and during the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. AEW and the wrestling community mourn the passing of Hana Kimura. Bea Priestley, you are one of my best friends. Beautiful, passionate, kind, funny, charismatic, talented. Always filled the room with joy. I have no words for how I'm feeling. You have taken a piece of my heart today. Let's have another match when we may be together again. I love you, Hannah Banana. Yeah. Take a sip of the sources. I know that I'm preaching to the choir. You guys don't do that stuff. There are a lot of people that do. need to be called out for it. In fact, here's what we should do. I'd like to try to get this started. Well, I don't know if it'll happen, but whenever you're on Facebook or you're on Twitter for pro wrestling and you see insulting happen, and I'm talking personal insulting. I'm not talking about someone who just doesn't agree with your opinion. Someone personally insulting another professional wrestling fan or wrestler. Show them what AEW did. Show them that picture. You could report it. That's right, Daniel. You can go ahead and report it. But the bigger thing is to shame them. Put them in their place. You want to feel better about yourself? You're not going to do it at the expense of others and possibly cost a life. Remind them that words matter. Remind them. Also last week was the tragic death of former WWE performer Shad Gaspard, whose remains were found on Venice Beach. He was 39 years old. If you have not heard this story, then I'll go ahead and give it to you. This past Sunday, Gaspard was at Venice Beach with his family. He and his 10-year-old son were swimming when a riptide pulled both of them in, alone with other swimmers, into the ocean. A rescue effort immediately went underway. Gaspard demanded the lifeguards save his son first, which they did. As they went back for him, a large wave struck him, and he was never seen again. Divers and helicopters combed the area in search of Gaspard, but he was not located. The search effort was called off that Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, a body matching the description of Gaspard washed ashore near where he disappeared. The body was discovered by a citizen at around 1:30 in the morning on Wednesday. The LA County Coroner's Office would later confirm the remains were of Shad Gaspard. Died a hero, such a gentle soul. Career aside, was a great father and a great man. Gaspard's wife, Ciliana, issued a statement regarding his passing. REA, myself, and the Gaspard and Shiddick families would like to take this time to thank everyone for their prayers and support as we mourn the terrible loss of our beloved Shad. Shad was our whole world, and we were his. There are not enough words to describe what he means to all of us. He was our heart, our soul, our protector, our warrior. He was a bright force of nature who brought us joy to many throughout his joyous and gracious nature. We'd like to thank once again the lifeguards, Coast Guard, divers, fire, and police departments for their efforts. Shad was and will always be our real-life superhero. Hey, Gills. Whee! No, it's okay. I see you in the chat room. The WWE would also issue a statement regarding Gaspard's death. I'm not going to read it because it goes over his entire career with the WWE, but this statement that they issued is one that you do not see very often. For someone who was lost so tragically and who was, let's be honest, of incredibly insignificant consequence to the company. Let's go ahead and face facts. You are not going to see Crime Time show up in the WWE Hall of Fame. But from the nature of this tragedy, for his actions, this lengthy statement by the WWE commemorating and honoring Shad Gaspard, you don't see this that often. the industry would react to the loss of Gaspard. JTG showing the in memoriam on Venice Beach. Know exactly where that is too. When I went to Malibu, we flew to Malibu and LA. Yeah, I know exactly where that is. Byron Saxton, the first time I went on the road with WWE, Shad welcomed me with his trademark smile. Our shared Haitian background gave us an immediate connection point, and from there he never ceased to greet me like family. The Rock, my prayers and hope for Gaspard's wife, son, and family during this unthinkable time. Man, this is a tough one, a really, really tough one. Triple H, I join fans around the world as we remember Gaspard as a beloved member and a caring father. In absolutely tragic circumstances, please keep his loved ones in your thoughts. The Iron Sheik. I have the time of my life with the Shad, JTG, John Morrison, and the family. I never forget him. God bless him. Roman Reigns, save my son. Incredible man and father. My love and prayers go out to the Gaspard family. Taz, Shad died a hero, saving his son's life. As a parent, there are no words to even explain that. He was a really positive and funny guy every time we spoke. Just a good dude. Titus O'Neil. My love, thoughts, prayers, support go out to the family of Shad Gaspard. Nothing will ever fix the loss of a loved one. As a universe, we owe it to ourselves and to others to be a positive light in this world as long as we can, because nothing is ever guaranteed. Natalia, the world has lost a wonderful human being. Shad Gaspard was a true hero in every sense of the word. I'm keeping his family and loved ones in my prayers. Tommy Dreamer, I will miss your smile and your giant hug. You made everyone feel happy and safe. You are the ultimate father. Cody Rhodes. Never got the pleasure to know Shad too well personally, but I did have the opportunity to wrestle him countless times. He was beyond motivated and as a giant took precautions to protect folks in the ring. I'm saddened by his passing. His last moments are as an undeniable hero. Kofi. Very lengthy one here, but it was the video that was shared here on his Instagram was of a WrestleMania party after WrestleMania 35 when Kofi won the world title. I think I should play that. Yeah, that's a little loud. Sorry. That's a little loud. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to benefit the family of the late Shad Gaspard. If you wish to do so, you find the article, and there's a link there if you would like to do so. There is some good news, Jamel. There is some good news, and we're going to get to it. Believe me, we are. Finally, popular AAA star Discovery passed away at the age of 54, losing his battle to cancer. He passed away on May 15th, about a week and a half ago. Began wrestling in 1980 under the name Gamma, and he primarily worked the independents in Tijuana before joining the UWA. In 95, Antonio Pena brought Gamma to AAA to take part in the reshuffled lineup of his new group, Los Power Raiders. Raiders. So, yes, the group was a spinoff of the Power Rangers. It was. Doug, damn it. Give us some good news. Please give us some good news this week. We'll be there. Maybe I'll give you some news that'll make you angry. How about that? We got an update on former WCW star Van Hammer's DUI case. He pled guilty. He was sentenced. According to P-Dub Insider, former WCW star Van Hammer, also known as Mark Heldreth, he pled guilty to one count of driving under the influence causing property damage and injury as part of a plea deal with Florida's Palm Beach County Court. The 60-year-old Hildreth is sentenced to 1 year of probation, 1 year suspension of his driver's license, and he must have an interlock device placed on his vehicle for 1 year as well. So what that means is for 1 year, he will not have a driver's license. And then once that year comes up and he gets his license back, there's going to be a breathalyzer hooked up to his car for a year. He also pled guilty to leaving the scene of an accident, and a charge of violating the speed zone was dismissed. He allegedly struck a 5-year-old boy with his car while he was driving drunk in Boynton Beach, Florida. He was speeding at 58 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. The boy was thrown on top of Hildreth's hood, his car. Just leaving that there. I got nothing more to add. You know how much disdain I have. Hall of Famer Devon Dudley has officially announced last Monday that he's retiring from in-ring performance. He announced this on his Table Talk podcast. Last time he performed was in 2016, so. But those who still perform are willing to flaunt it, as Ric Flair did. He showed off his brand new contract with the WWE on social media. There you go. Some really bigwig in the WWE departed the company. According to PW Insider, Michael Mansouri, the vice president of global TV production, departed WWE last week. Mansouri is said to have given his notice months ago that he would leave in May of 2020 and concluded his responsibilities last week. Mansouri held the position of VP of global TV production since 2016. He was an integral part of Triple H's regime and considered to be the replacement for Kevin Dunn when he decided to step down. Mansouri was hired in 2009 as a production assistant, and he gradually rose through the ranks of the company. Mansouri has been the director of many WWE pay-per-views and television events in recent years. With his departure, along with Kerwin Silfies, Kevin Dunn and Marty Miller will be directing WWE broadcasting. Will you be able to notice? I don't know. Seth Rollins commented on his husband's, Becky Lynch's pregnancy. Am I getting those pronouns right? Seth Rollins called Becky Lynch's pregnancy the best news of our lives. Breaking news. WWE announced that they have surpassed 60 million subscribers on YouTube. Breaking news. Okay, enough trying to shift through things. It's now time to pat ourselves on the back. Our own Josh Boutwell, WrestleView's own Josh Boutwell, had a fantastic interview with Lufisto, over 25-year veteran in the ring. Talking about women's wrestling, inside and outside the ring, talking about the controversies with Ring of Honor promoting women's wrestling. This is a fantastic, fantastic piece. I encourage you to read it if you have not. It opened up my eyes because, for one, I did not know that Ring of Honor had a women's division, and when they did, God, did they suck at promoting it. And Lufisto was there to hold their asses to the fire, call them out for what they were. So this is a fantastic piece to watch. I'm sorry, not Ring of Honor, CZW, about Combat Zone Wrestling, and Ring of Honor as well. So, I mean, read this piece. It is a fantastic interview by Josh Boutwell. Very well done. More props. And also to Lufisto. Damn. Great article. Great interview. Impact Wrestling stars Zachary Wentz and Kimberly announced they're getting married. I don't know who these people are. I'm happy for them. That's all I got. And finally, okay, so you want good news. There's only one person we can depend on to give us good news. Titus O'Neil has been announced as a finalist for the 2020 Sports Humanitarian of the Year Award. ESPN announced the finalists of this humanitarian award. It's Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian of the Year Award. He was nominated alongside MLB's Nelson Cruz, NBA's Kevin Love, NFL's Devin and Jason McCourty, and the WNBA's Maya Moore. So, he is not going to win. Sorry, he is not going to win. It's going to go to someone who's from a popular sport, NFL. NFL always wins everything. That's what's going to happen. Calling it right now. That's how it always is. So far on the injury front, when it comes to the news, Razar suffering from a torn bicep. He is not going to be back until the SummerSlam times. Kevin Owens with an ankle injury. No, not so much. He showed up on Raw. He's okay. I got to take that off the list. Becky Lynch has got a tiny human inside her stomach. She's not going to be back until WrestleMania times. Lars Sullivan, I got no idea what's going on with this guy. He had a severe knee injury involving ACL, MCL, and PCL. He hasn't been around for a long time. He was supposed to be back around WrestleMania times. It's been over a year since we've seen him. Xavier Woods, Ember Moon, both suffering from torn Achilles tendons, going through rehab. They should be back very soon, around SummerSlam times. Jimmy Uso, reparative knee surgery. He's not going to be back until Survivor Series times, according to PW Insider, because that's what they think. Boa, torn rotator cuff and labrum. He'll be back for SummerSlam times. Fandango had a dislocated elbow. He was supposed to be back before WrestleMania, but he has not because he's too busy working on Southpaw Regional Wrestling Season 3. Finally, Jessamine Duke, cleanup surgery on both of her elbows. She is not going to be back until the SummerSlam times. Refill the sources. So, those are the people that are hurt. What about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? What about the people who haven't been on TV for, say, 3 weeks? They end up on a very special list. A list that I had to make sure I had edited, unlike this damn injury list. It's a list that everyone has come to know and love and to cherish and praise, and so many people are happy to get into the chat room in time to see it. Grash says, "Wee! It's the WWE milk carton!" I am so light and so brisk and so skim, not 2%, not whole. Go fuck. I don't know what I was going to say after that. I don't know what I was going to sing with that milk carton. I don't know. Casey Catanzaro kicks off the milk carton. We haven't seen her delightful ninja-like structure since April the 29th episode of NXT, where she was vigorously squashed by Candice LeRae to confirm Candice LeRae's heel turn. Yeah. She's not a ninja, she's not a warrior, but she is American. Jey Uso, haven't seen him since the April 17th episode of SmackDown, where this was the... Okay, which... So this was the SmackDown after the post-SmackDown He was in a triple threat to go after the tag team titles, where it was him versus Big E and The Miz. Tucker. Haven't seen him since the April 10th episode of SmackDown. That was the post-WrestleMania SmackDown, where he faced off against Dolph Ziggler. This poor guy. The third wheel of everything. This poor guy. Man. He just cannot catch a break. He's a great baby. He's a good, decent baby face in peril to bring in Otis. But, poor guy. Malcolm Bivens and his clients Indus Sher haven't seen them since the April 8th episode of NXT, where they conducted a monologue saying how destructive they were, but they haven't been destructive in over 6 weeks. The Big Show, haven't seen him since the April 6th episode of Monday Night Raw, where they aired a dark match immediately following night 2 of WrestleMania, where he faced off against Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. He's too busy working out and getting trim again and promoting his new sitcom on the Netflix. He should be appearing sometime again for the WWE and then might call it a day. Bork Laser, haven't seen him since night 2 of WrestleMania, where he lost the WWE title to Drew McIntyre. We're not going to see him until this COVID shit is straightened up. Mojo Rowley, haven't seen him since night 2 of WrestleMania, where he tried to get back his 24/7 title. Don't know what the hell he's doing. His career was determinant on Rob Gronkowski being a part of the WWE, but now that Tom Brady's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Rob Gronkowski is signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mojo Rowley will never be found again. Sami Zayn, that's the Intercontinental title that's on his shoulders that he won at WrestleMania. No, he retained it at WrestleMania Night 1, defending it against Daniel Bryan. He has been in Canada since then, has not returned to the States to do a SmackDown taping, and has been stripped of said Intercontinental title. This is a travesty and is, well, warranted. Joaquin Wilde, haven't seen him since the April 1st episode of NXT, where he lost in a match to Kishida and then was abducted by Los Conquistadores and shoved into an SUV. Killian Dane, we haven't seen him since the March 25th episode of NXT, where he faced off against some guy. Where is he? Where is my spreadsheet? What's the Joker's name? Was it that Tahuti Miles? Yes, it was Tahuti Miles. We haven't seen him and his receding hairline since then. Guess it's as good as mine. Tyler Breeze, haven't seen him since that same episode of March the 25th, 2020's NXT, where he faced off against Austin Theory to promote Austin Theory and show that Austin Theory is a thing. Well, that succeeded. Austin Theory has now had his very first WrestleMania match at the tender age of 22 and is now a regular on Monday Night Raw. Riddick Moss, haven't seen him since the March 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw, where he was jogging down the sidewalks of a random suburban neighborhood, tackled by R-Truth, and lost his 24/7 title. Haven't seen him since. He's lost. It's been 2 months. I hope he got home. Roman Reigns. Burn. Haven't seen him since the March 20th episode of SmackDown, where he was signing the contract to face Goldberg for the WWE Universal title. That match never happened. Roman Reigns, where it was reported that he was not showing up to tapings because, he battled leukemia and so he'd be susceptible to the COVID, claims that he's staying at home because he's got babies. If that's the case, then a lot of people are going to be staying home for a very long time. Grizzled young veterans Zach Gibson and James Drake, haven't seen them since the March 11th episode of NXT, where they blindsided Pete Dunne and Matt Riddell after they successfully retained their NXT Tag Team Championships. We built up the grizzled young veterans for about 3 or 4 weeks after their debut onto the NXT roster. We had them squash a few teams to make themselves look like a thing. Can any of you remember the last time the tag team titles, when they meant anything? All that build-up for the grizzled young veterans for nothing. They're still over across the pond. Raul Mendoza. Haven't seen him since the March 11th episode of NXT, where he lost against Kushida, and then he was abducted by Los Conquistadores and shoved into an SUV. Lessons learned. Don't lose against Kishida, or else Los Conquistadores will abduct you and shove you into an SUV. AOP, even though Razar is hurt, I'm counting them both. They haven't been seen since the March 9th episode of Monday Night Raw, where they were part of a 8-man tag Teddy Long special. They're done. Let's just go and face facts. Damn it, I had such high hopes from them. No. No. I just don't see it happening. Robert Roode, haven't seen him since Elimination Chamber on March the 8th, where he and Dolph Ziggler took part in the tag team match thingy for the SmackDown tag team titles. He's in Canada, probably playing cribbage with Sami Zayn. Shorty G, haven't seen him since the March 6th episode of SmackDown, where he was in the gorilla position talking with Apollo Crews to convince Apollo Crews, hey, dude, you need my help against Sheamus? Apollo goes, no, I'm okay. Long story short, Apollo Crews is now on Monday Night Raw. He's going to have a match for the United States title against Andrade tomorrow. Sheamus just lost a match against Jeff Hardy in their Intercontinental Championship title tourney thingy. Shorty G is nowhere to be found. Go figure. Marina Shafir, haven't seen her since the March 4th episode of NXT, where she shoved a stick through a cage to help Roderick Strong try to fend off Velveteen Dream, and that didn't do so well. Mansoor, haven't seen her. Her? No, him. Yes. Haven't seen him since Super Showdown in Riyadh or Jeddah or Bismarck, South Dakota. That was back in February 27th. Further confirming that we only see Mansoor when he performs in his home country of South Dakota. Bronson Reed, haven't seen him since the February 26th episode of NXT, where he faced off against Killian Dane in the hopes that we would recapture the magic of big men having big matches on NXT. Nope. Kona Reeves, haven't seen him since the February 19th episode of NXT, where he got squashed by Keith Lee in less than 25 seconds. Mercedes Martinez, haven't seen her since the February 5th episode of NXT, where she faced off against newly inducted member into the WWE milk carton, Casey Catanzaro, where it was hopes to make Mercedes Martinez a thing. No! Vanessa Bourne, we haven't seen her since the January 15th episode of NXT, where she took part in a big battle royale thingy involving vaginas to figure out the number one contender for the NXT women's title, who was Rhea Ripley at the time, and they were going to square off at NXT Portland in February. Ugh. Take a sip, because we're about to dip into 2019. Mustafa Ali. Haven't seen him since the December 27th episode of SmackDown last year, where he said a bunch of inspirational shit. Many are thinking that he's the one behind the message, that the truth is going to come out, that he has a bunch of keyboards and monitors, and he watches TV like the rest of us. Whatever. I've gotten to the point where I really don't care. Bo Dallas. Haven't seen him since the November 15th episode of SmackDown last year, where he, Drew Gulak, and Curtis Axel were in the ring making fun of Braun Strowman leading into Survivor Series of that year. He is the last one to make fun of Braun Strowman on that day. Day of Reckoning may be coming soon. And finally, the stalwart of the milk carton. We are 4 months away, 4 months, until this man becomes the newest Golden Gallon. Golden Gallon on the milk carton is that you have not appeared on WWE television or pay-per-view for a calendar year, and yet you are still on the main roster, and you're perfectly healthy. You haven't been injured. Jamel brings it up. Bo Dallas is the last member of the Social Outcasts to be in the WWE. Well, yeah, I guess that's something. The stalwart of the milk carton, Arturo Ruas. Who? Who? Arturo Ruas has not been on WWE television since episode of NXT on September 18th of last year. The debut episode of NXT on the USA Network. He faced off against Pete Dunne to make Pete Dunne look like a thing. Pete Dunne had been a thing. Now he's a thing across the pond, and we hadn't seen the thing. So this guy responsible for the thing has been on TV. The thing hasn't been on TV either, as is the case for a lot of other people. So, milk carton is getting harder and harder to do, just because there's so many people on it, and I've got to. This is what destroys my voice more than anything else, is the milk carton. Who else could be showing up on the milk carton? Am I going to take a break? Nope. There ain't no break to be had, people. Because this week will count after next Sunday is going to count 3 weeks since Money in the Bank. Right now, the milk carton is, if I do my math right now, the milk carton right now is actually 32 deep. It's not bad. 32 people on the milk carton right now. If nothing changes, the milk carton will be 46 deep. Any big names that I'm looking at? Bray Wyatt. Kofi Kingston, Big E, New Day. Who else? Those are the big ones I'm looking at. The New Day and Bray Wyatt. So, Greg, I might need to pre-record and reuse video. No. It's always better to do live. There's no off-season for the milk carton either. All right. Take a sip of the sources. Enough anger. Enough sadness. Enough all of these other emotions that just get worse and worse and fester and mold as they canurp for moisture. Last night was a show that was needed. After all of the news that I've given you, the sad, tragic headlines, the mediocrity of WWE television, last night was needed. I know I've been making fun of them for a long time. You know what? Just cue up the transition. No, not that. That's my Facebook page. That's real cute, isn't it? Well, let's change that. You guys can see what I was working on. Why are you doing that? Why you do the thing? I want to show the people what I'm watching. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. All right. So, I don't really want as much talk about all the AEW I watched. Okay, I watched the go-home episode of AEW Dynamite leading into Double or Nothing last Wednesday. Not really a whole lot to talk about. I mean, Johnny Moxley having a match against some guy named 10, calling out Brody Lee. MJF throwing around a really skinny guy, Marco Stunt. MJF, I ever since All In from a couple years ago, I'm a fan. Arn Anderson and Jake the Snake trying to reel in the 60-year-olds. Yeah. Orange Cassidy being Orange Cassidy. Okay, I've got nothing. I mean, I don't need to tell you how great Orange Cassidy is, okay? I don't. Orange Cassidy is just fun. Period. End of discussion. Okay. Up, down, all. Yeah, let's show Orange Cassidy doing the wee, wee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Orange Cassidy is Orange Cassidy. I don't need to say anything about him. The women's division stinks. Period. Just gonna. That's all I got to say about that. But it was this site that I saw a few weeks ago where I was channel surfing. I don't watch professional wrestling live unless it's a pay-per-view. So I don't. So I was channel surfing on Wednesday and came across AEW Dynamite was doing a street fight throughout the entire stadium, and I saw this. Sammy Guevara getting chased down by Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in a golf cart. I stumbled upon this channel surfing and went, what am I missing here? What have I been missing? So I watched the DVR'd episode of AEW, and I was blown away. I was blown away. Okay. The garbage match that they had in the arena, in this entire football stadium, I loved it. Absolutely. I was blown away. Okay. Later on in this, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara, who cares? But then stuff happens after this match on the football field. So the Young Bucks were injured. They're back, and they jump on to waiting people. And then there's brawling and stuff happening. And then suddenly, dude runs the length of the football field and starts going off. That's Adam Page. Hangman Page. All right. First, I want to go back to this Young Bucks thing. The reason I've had a problem with AEW is that it's the camera showing people waiting for stuff to happen to them. It's bad camera production, bad editing, bad everything, to where the cameraman is showing me everything, including the guy standing there for 15 seconds waiting for the guy to climb the ropes. It's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't been watching AEW. It's I cannot stand watching people doing nothing. It's like a battle royale happening and Titus O'Neil looking around for 5 seconds. Okay, I can't stand it. But what turns that around more than anything else is stupid. Nothing makes me feel better about life and about being a professional wrestling fan more than just stupid fun. I'm talking stupid fun, all right? You guys have been here with me watching matches involving Kota Ibushi, who is regarded as one of the greatest cruiserweights, little critters, on the planet, facing off against a blow-up sex doll. That is fun. That is fun. That's the fun I'm looking for. I want stupid. I want flat out stupid. Last night. Wow. All right, last night. Let's just get into it. First off, last night, there were injuries to Rey Fenix and Britt Baker, and so they couldn't take part in their matches for Double or Nothing. So instead, Rey Fenix was replaced by Joey Janela in some ladder match to determine the number one contender for the AEW title. And Britt Baker was replaced by Penelope Ford. I don't know who that is. I don't care who that is. So our glorious Josh Boutwell doing the results of the match. I helped out today adding little things here and there to show what was happening. Look, I am not going to sit here and tell you about the greatness of AEW because I don't think they're great. I don't. AEW has a lot of work. And I'm not talking just from the wrestling. I'm talking from production. I'm talking from direction, executive producing. I mean, it is up to the producers and the directors to keep us from seeing people doing nothing. But AEW last night was something that we, as professional wrestling fans, desperately needed. Through all the sadness, the anger, the disappointment, the frustration, AEW Double or Nothing last night was what we needed. What do you combat mediocrity with when I'm talking about the other company's product? What do you combat it with? A great product? Well, you can't really do that. They've got more money and better production and way more experienced directors than you'll ever have. So how do you combat that? Trying to put on a better product and you can't. You put on a match. You put on something that you know they cannot do. You know that they can't. You don't even mention it to them by name. You do it with the personnel that you have and the resources you have. Orange Cassidy he's a lazy fuck. WWE will not do that. They have no character to envision that with. They would never have some guy come out. Whoops, we ain't doing that. They wouldn't have some guy. Well, let's just say there's Darby Allin, who, let's go and face facts, is human goat simulator. You know. The other company will not have a guy come out and rip a ladder in half. Just scrolling on down. Double or Nothing's pay-per-view and matches, who cares? Who cares who won? Who cares what happened in them? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. That's not why I'm lauding AEW right now. The only reason you should watch AEW Double or Nothing was for the main event. The Stadium Stampede match. This was a 10-man, 2 teams of 5. Super Destructo garbage brawl around a football stadium that was vacant. What more do I need? Look, 5-on-5 in an empty football stadium. Garbage brawl. Carte blanche. Do what you want. The other organization does not have that. The other organization does not have that. They have the best technology, the best they got the most money, they got the most best personnel, they got everything. But the one thing they do not have is a football stadium. AEW has a football stadium. If you were to say that about the other organization, you'd be going, oh God, they'd never fill that. No. It has nothing to do with filling it. No. Just AEW, with the financier that they have, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the NFL football team, they have a football stadium at their disposal to do their show. The other organization does not have this. And I know it's unfair to say, oh my God, that's why AEW is so much, they were so much better because they have this building. No, it's because they know how to use the resources they were given. The other organization that has been around for over half a century has got the money to spend. They've got the personnel to make their product the best it can look. And they don't even know how to use the resources they have. With AEW, they've at least got people in the seats making noise. At least noise of some kind. It doesn't matter if they're wrestlers or not. I don't care if they're janitors. I don't care if they're just making noise if they're just yelling out the recipe for Toll House chocolate chip cookies. They're making noise at least. The other company is doing nothing. No one. Why? Why isn't there anything in the background? It doesn't matter if it's supposed to incorporate or trying to reflect what's happening in the ring. It doesn't matter. At least something's happening. AEW's talent reacts more to anyone than the other organizations does. They make more noise in the arena that they're in with people making noise next to them than the other organization does. Why is that? How is that? How is it that the other organization shows me an edited clip that would make Mystery Science Theater wince? How? I expect so much better. AEW, yes. We get plenty of shots of people, we get tons of shots of people standing around and waiting to get landed on, sure. But by God, the other organization, I don't see it, but I sure as hell should not see what they edited out on NXT. The Stadium Stampede match last night from AEW was what we needed as professional wrestling fans. We needed this. I didn't care why this was happening. I didn't give a damn. I didn't care why they hated each other. I didn't need to know a backstory. I didn't need to know anything. You're telling me that 10 men are going to go nuts on each other in an empty football stadium. Sold. I am sold. You're telling me one of them is Chris Jericho, the other one's Matt Hardy? Oh, bring it. Bring it. On top of this, on top of everything, I am going to say this, and I know you guys are going to think I'm nuts, think it's the tequila and the sources talking. No, I mean this, okay? Stadium Stampede last night is my contender for match of the year. Stadium Stampede last night is match of the year. There is nothing the other organization could do or have put out that would be a better match than this one. It's better than the Boneyard match. It's better than whatever the fuck Wyatt Cena was. It's better than the Money in the Bank match. Those are their cinematic matches. Those are the matches they spent the most money on. I will take Stadium Stampede over any match the other organization has put out, even before Spiky Nerf Ball took over our lives. Look. We had team entrances with cheerleaders and Chris Jericho. We had Hangman Page riding out on a horse, chasing down Sammy Guevara, because we know Sammy Guevara runs a pretty good 40. We had one of the Jackson brothers climbing the goalpost and doing stupid, flippy, dippy shit. We had Kenny Omega taking a powerbomb type bump off of scaffolding onto other scaffolding. We went to a pool. There's a pool here. We're going to take advantage of that shit. We're going to dunk Matt Hardy into a pool. Why? Why would we do that? The matter of facts tell us that Matt Hardy can hold his breath for 346 seconds. Seriously, look at this. And the guys are reacting to the graphic. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. Right here. So full of wrestling. And before one of, I think it was Ortiz or Santana, I can't remember. Before one of them got into the pool, the other was yelling for him to get in the pool, and he was saying that he couldn't swim. The previous Jack Swagger sending Adam Page down the bar, eating chips in half-full beer glasses. Chris Jericho tossing a Young Buck into the inflated Jaguar head, pissing off the mascot of the Jacksonville Jaguars, only for him to give him the elbow thingy. How is this not match of the year? How? How is this not match of the year? Chris Jericho would then pin one of the Bucks and throw a flag saying that he's challenging the ref's call. The referee would then go into a replay booth and Jericho would follow her into it. One of the Jackson brothers decided to run down the entire flight of steps for the first level of seating in this football stadium so that he could get enough ground to do a splash through a table. Sammy Guevara is knocked out cold on the football field. The sprinklers go off, waking him up, thinking that he's won, only to find that Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy have commandeered another golf cart and they're chasing him down the football field once again. This entire thing would end when Kenny Omega would get Sammy Guevara up on a one-winged angel and send him crashing down from the top of a tunnel onto some padded styrofoam and tables and things. It was fun. Yeah, the good guys would win. Whatever. I am telling you again, this match was match of the year. In a time of this year where we've been filled with sadness, tragedy, disappointment, frustration, we're locked in our homes and can't do a damn thing. We can't enjoy our times with our loved ones. If our loved ones are incapacitated, we can't be there for them. In a time of the year where the greatest of heroes are taken from us and those with such fragile lives are taken from us as well, this match was needed. This match we had to have. For once, we had to sit back and just laugh at it all. To not take it so seriously. To not wonder about what's the record, or who's beaten who, or whose gimmick is the worst, or who's not selling, who's not reflecting injury, who's worse at being in peril, who's got a better entrance, who doesn't. Damn it, it's just about having fun. For the past 4 or 5 months, I had been making fun of AEW. How, again, production quality is horrible. They don't know which camera to go to. You show a guy punching canvas instead of Dustin's face to end your show. I got to take it back. I got to take it back. Unfortunately, NWA Power can't be in their studio and give us the relief and release that we need from big budget pro wrestling. They'll be back, I pray. But right now, the release that we are looking for and the relief we're looking for as professional wrestling fans is something away from the other company's mediocrity. The other company that has coffers deeper than the Grand Canyon, that has experience to make their product look as great as it can. They still don't know how to use them. We need to look to a company that knows what they have and can take advantage of what they have. I'm not saying you should ditch watching the other company. Of course not. I've always said that AEW, as any other organizations like New Japan and Ring of Honor and Shimmer and Stardom, even NWA Power, DDT, they aren't alternatives. They are additions. You're supposed to watch all of them, not ditch one for the other. But it is time to acknowledge that some companies do something better than others do. AEW does something better that other companies just cannot do. That is take advantage of what they've got. And I'm not just saying that because Vicky Guerrero was in the audience. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. Had to get all of that off my chest. Yeah. Whether you guys agree with it or not, it's fine. I mean, I totally understand there are those that are going to be, oh, screw the other organization. Why don't you say their name? Because that's not the point. That's why. It's not the point. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. No. It's been a rough one. It's been a rough one. I hope I could help somehow, some way, to help you guys through it. Tune in next week. Remember, next week, Queen Victoria joins me here on the show. She is going to be making all of the predictions for NXT TakeOver in your house, and I'm pretty sure that every single one of them are going to be a lock. We'll see what the card looks like, but I'm pretty sure all of them are going to be locks. In the meantime, tune in tomorrow night. No, you can't tune in tomorrow night because Mike and Victoria will not be doing Wrestleview, the Raw post show. They won't be. So just tune in to me next week. Everyone in the chat room, Jamel, Gills, Crash, Nafis, Lewis. Who else was in there? I know Michael was in there. Michael Ryan was in there. Mex Guy was in there. Daniel. So many others. Thank you all so much for showing up. You guys have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Wear a mask if you got it. Smoke them too if you got them. Oh, Trevor's in there. Hello. Andrew was in there. Whee! Thank you all so much for stopping by. And as always, know when you're being sold to.